What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty from Ty Drives with the GoPro strapped to my head. And who's ready for a test drive in the all-new 2025 Nissan Murano? I know I certainly am, because there's a new powertrain that goes along with this full new redesign, and I'm really excited to see how it performs. Now, before we get out on the road, I'm going to do a super quick walk around on some of the features on the outside, inside, things like that. And the reason why I'm going to be super quick is because I filmed a dedicated features review on this very car. So if you're interested to see all of the features this vehicle has to offer, make sure you head on over to Ty Drives and check out that video. Now, up front, as we can see, again, all new redesign. So we have kind of a split headlight unit, all LEDs up front. We have 360 cameras, parking sensors up front, and this one being an SL model, so kind of not the base SV, not the top of the line Platinum, the SL right in the middle. We have 20-inch wheels. We also have some glossy black, some chrome on the vehicle, nice mix, and it really did keep with the proportions and the kind of name of that Murano design, kind of a larger crossover, a little bit bigger than the Rogue, a little bit smaller than the Pathfinder, but still 2 rows of seating. Now back here is one of my favorite design elements on this new car, and it's this kind of full light bar, and it's clear until the lights go on, which is pretty cool. I'm kind of a sucker for clear taillight lenses, which is pretty cool. But parking sensors back here, reversing camera again, and this one is all-wheel drive, of course. Say hello to our friend in the airplane up there. Opening the powered hatch, a good amount of space back here, more than the Rogue, definitely, and we could even split fold the seats with these little handles, and there's a full-size spare underneath, which you really don't see that often. Rear seats are very roomy, very comfortable. For a guy my size, I'm 5'10", I can sit back here very, very comfortably with at least 3-4 inches of legroom, air vents, USB-Cs, and nice panoramic roof back here. Smart key entry on both the front door handles, and kind of the standout features in this model are the memory seats. We also have the Pro Pilot Assist. We have fully powered seats, extremely comfy up front as well, with 2-way lumbar, and kind of have a new double screen setup, which lots of vehicles are kind of going towards, and this pretty cool kind of 2-spoke floating design steering wheel. So let's fire this baby up. We get a nice welcome sound and nice animation from that double screen setup. And let's fasten our seatbelts for safety first. Put her down into drive and see what this Murano is like to drive. And off we go. So, quick tour of this test drive. Kind of, we're on this main road here. We'll see what it's like up at some higher speeds, you know, 45 miles an hour. Our next kind of test will be an acceleration test, and that will bring us to our last kind of portion of the video, which is all back road. So we'll get a nice feel for this Murano. Not going to take it on any highways because there's not too much for highways around here, but at least we'll get a good feel for it on back roads and kind of feel out the suspension, acceleration, things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, up at 45 to 50 miles an hour, I mean, this Murano is really, really kind of insulated from the outside world. You know, the oncoming traffic, you could barely hear it. And the ride quality and kind of noise levels are very, very quiet. There's barely any noise even coming from the tires. So pretty good up at those speeds. Now this next test over here is going to be our acceleration test, so we'll put it in the sport mode, where it definitely holds our gears a little bit more. And we'll kind of put it down into the mode that you could see the tachometer, so we can see what's going on here. We'll give this guy some space, and what we'll basically do is we'll get it up to 25, punch the throttle, and see how fast we can get up to speed here. Here we go. Yeah, so actually I am pleasantly surprised with this power plant. Having driven the previous Murano with the V6 and the CVT transmission, I know what that vehicle feels like, and now I know what this vehicle feels like from an acceleration standpoint, and it's actually pretty impressive. This 2-liter turbocharged engine is pretty powerful. 241 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. Honestly, it feels like a little bit more than that. I don't know if it's maybe just because we don't have a CVT to work with here, and it's just a regular 9-speed automatic. But definitely picks up pretty well. Pretty impressive. And yes, you did hear me correctly. This car does not have a CVT transmission anymore. No more continuously variable. This is a traditional 9-speed automatic transmission. Is this the beginning of Nissan ditching the CVT transmission? I don't know, but I sure do like it. Pretty bumpy and unforgiving back road here. We are up in Connecticut, and we had a pretty nasty winter, although not as bad as some previous winters. Definitely does beat up the roads here, but that's okay. We have plenty of rough road to test out for you guys. We can see what the suspension feels like, and really, really pretty impressed with this vehicle so far. Yeah, very muted ride, very comfortable suspension, very quiet in here. Pretty impressive vehicle so far. The transmission seems to shift very smooth and is pretty responsive to my throttle inputs. You can definitely hear the turbocharger a little bit when you get into the throttle. Now, one thing I must say is every once in a while, you know, you go into doing a video or doing a review on a redesigned car, and you look at the stats on paper and it doesn't really get you all that excited. But once you get in the car and drive it and feel it and smell it, maybe even, this actually is a pretty impressive car. Like, I was going into this car with kind of low hopes because of what I've heard before about this engine and transmission and how it stacks up to the V6 before, but I mean, I really don't have any complaints. I mean, at least on this short drive that we've been driving so far. I mean, this car is pretty impressive, and I didn't think it would be that impressive, if that makes any sense. One thing that did strike me as soon as I got in this car is the comfort of these seats. I mean, this is really, really comfortable seats, and it's plush. And they're supportive, and it's just a really, really nice seat setup here. Yeah, this turbocharged 4-cylinder engine does just fine in this car. Now, I'm not sure if this is the exact same engine as in the Altima with the VC turbo, Now that implication with that engine was actually kind of underwhelming. In this vehicle, it seems like if it is the same engine, they've definitely done some tuning to make it more smooth and feel a little bit more powerful too. So I must say that that's a pretty strong suit of this car is actually the engine, and it's more efficient than the outgoing V6. That pretty much does it for the test drive on the all-new 2025 Nissan Murano. I thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you stay tuned with us on that full features review, and you should see a little link popping up to that right now in the corner. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you stick with us next time at Ty Drives.